12:04 on a Friday in the Biggie. A little bit of sun out there. A little bit of snow, it looks like. Hope you're warm. Hope you're good. Hope you're excited for your weekend. It's the Oil Stream, presented by Boston Pizza. Tom Gazzola, Reid Wilkins, Hernan Salas doing stuff behind the monitors. Text us, 780-218-9999. Get into the nasty chat, please. Add thank you if you're watching on YouTube. To those listening on iHeartRadio, TuneIn Radio, Apple Music, and EdmontonSportsTalk.com's audio player, we salute you. And to those watching, we appreciate you. Nice salute. Okay, get out of here. Get out of you. Get out of here, Hernan. Hello, Reid. Good afternoon.
Tom, thanks for having me. Man, it's nice being your colleague. I just was sitting here thinking, this is so cool that we actually are co-workers for the same company.
We are.
It's very nice. We've known each other a long time, but I was just thinking, this is a privilege.
I feel the same way.
I don't think we've ever been on this desk together. We've obviously done shows together. I don't think we've been on this desk together.
Time?
I think so.
What a treat.
Because you've always come on from video.
Uh-huh.
Right?
And you come on to the post-game show from video.
Yeah, from my home office with Googly behind me.
Googly, yes. Your bear, teddy bear from
some childhood doll that I've just never gotten rid of. I think it was the first doll someone gave me.
That's cool. It has sentimental,
or one of the
sentimental value. Also, I call my home office the satellite studio.
It sounds way cooler than me just saying my spare bedroom.
Total BS. Like, it's just mine's an office or den in my place. But
you've put, and a lot of people do. I mean, I see Escott doing the global hit that I used to do. Everybody puts way more effort because I'm not I'm stupid when it comes to how should I look? I'm like, I don't know.
Stop
How
right
should
now.
the background
Thank you
look?
very much.
So mine's there's a bookshelf and
That's
a door and an unmade bed. I don't know if the camera's that wide.
I don't think we see the bed.
No, that's good.
I deliberately, when I bought my place.
Your place is awesome.
When I bought my place, I knew right away that den / studio, I guess you could put a bed in there, but technically it's not a bedroom.
Because there's no window in it, so they can't call it a bedroom.
That's correct. Yeah. Yes, but I was like, I need to make it good when I do TV hits, when I do shows remotely from the satellite studios. And it's functioned.
Yeah. You have a nice
such.
Back.
Yeah. There's all kinds of whatnots and hootenannies back there. And on-air light that I stole from 1260 that Awanek picked up.
Oh, really? That was a pilfered?
That was pilfered. Yeah. But this is good. We're first time.
This is great.
I enjoy this.
This is great.
All right.
Team's not great, but this is great.
This is great. You know what's not great? Yeah, did you just say the team's not great?
I did say that.
That is correct. That is correct. It is the Oil Stream. It's not the Oilers stream, although that is the heavy emphasis of this show. We will touch a little bit on the Oil Kings later on in the show, and we want to go Golden Bears too.
Well, I am, because I'm going to go to the Golden Bears game straight from work.
That's going to be awesome.
Yeah.
I would go if I wasn't in the Bow Zone tonight.
You're in the Bow Zone.
We're in the
you're
Bow
doing
Zone.
Bow Zone into the evening?
Yeah, we go live to tape.
Nice.
At the Wild TV studios. Wild TV's in free preview right now, so you can check it out on Teleshaw, Rogers, whatever you have, Bell. And, it would go live to tape. I have a camo pullover in my backpack. I'm going straight from here to Wild TV to start shooting.
Well, I think you had it on earlier, but no one could see you.
Oh, ba-dum-bum.
Okay, so when is, I know this isn't the Bow Zone show, but are they on already? Like, how quickly after you tape them are they aired?
The next day. So we used to do it live. We used to do it straight up live. It was organized chaos. It was the only show on that network that was straight up live.
Okay.
And there's a lot of technical hurdles that had to be overcome, and chaos ensued. You know TV and how it can be. It's chaos. Yes. It's chaos live television, as is, with a full team in a production suite, control room, studio. Imagine that with a crew.
Yeah.
That's not all. That really doesn't do live. They do to tape, produced.
Yeah. And then if it's a weekly show as opposed to a nightly newscast.
Right.
I remember once did you have Perry Thomas at Nate?
I did. Perry, good man.
Yeah, he told me once, this probably would have been in the 90s, he was in the CFRN control room, and the director decided he was going to do an entire show, and he would just grunt for the cues. Like, Because they all knew, okay, now there's a Chiron. Now I'm rolling tape. So they did it because they all know what's coming next.
Yeah,
but if you're not into that nightly groove of it, to do something live and time it out, that would be challenging.
There's a lot of moving parts. Anyway, it's a fun show. We are 3 episodes in. It's only a 7-episode run because this is the rut.
Right.
It's the end of hunting season for whitetails in the bow zone. Edmonton bow zone is prolific, renowned for producing some majestic big bucks, and it's only bow hunting. There are poachers who rifle hunt. You're not supposed to bait. No baiting. You're supposed to do it with honor.
You've learned a lot about it. That's cool.
I have. I mean, I've been the host for 5 seasons. And as someone who has never hunted before, I know a lot of things about hunting. Yesterday, Louis DeBrusque and I were discussing at Morning Skate about his buck that he took down and harvested, as we like to say.
Oh, really? Okay.
This week. And Louis will be my co-host on Monday's edition of Bowzone Live.
Oh, sweet.
With Ryan Kohler.
Awesome. I wish you all the best with that.
Thank you. They're trying to get me in a tree stand. I was up for it until I saw the forecast.
This weekend you would have gone?
Next week.
Oh, next weekend?
There's only 2 Oilers games and they're at the end of the week.
Oh, they're not till Friday, Saturday.
And I was like, yeah, let's do it. And then I saw the forecast and they're like, when are you coming out? I'm like, no.
Yeah, you're not that interested in it.
No.
Yeah.
No.
You're fair weather, which is fine.
And I don't want to get sick, so knock on wood. Anyway. It's the
it's cold next week.
It is really cold. Presented by Boston Pizza. Take a holiday break at BP. Try their new holiday menu. Celebrate the season with Boston Pizza as your go-to holiday hideaway. Gather with family and friends over our festively delicious holiday menu featuring indulgent dishes, delightful desserts, and signature drinks crafted to add cheer to every moment. From casual get-togethers to planned celebrations, we make it easy to host and toast without the hassle. So take a holiday break, pull up a seat, and savor the flavors that make this season special. It feels like the holidays. Starting to really
it's getting there.
Up. Yeah.
It's getting there. Starting to see a lot of lights on houses. All that kind of stuff.
Christmas trees going up, ornaments, all that good stuff. Bucks being taken down in the bow zone. It is the holiday season, and the Oilers in the gift of giving, dishing out points to other teams.
They certainly are.
Yes. Last night to the Minnesota Wild, Christmas colors, by the way. I don't know. I said it last night on the post-game show. To me, Reid, the Wild, who came in a far superior team thus far this season, clicking on way more cylinders than the Oilers all around, getting contributions from up and down the lineup, good goaltending. I described it as the Wild flexed on the Oilers yesterday. First the Oilers are nowhere near the same level of efficiency as Minnesota right now.
No, not right now. So you said the Oilers are in the gift of giving. What do the Oilers have? 6 regulation wins?
I think it's 5 still.
Was it still?
Oh, no, 6. You're right, because they have 4 in OT.
Right. So only 6 times in 21 games has a team left a game with the Oilers empty-handed.
That's right.
So that's not great. Now, you still got to win in overtime. I mean, winning on 3-on-3 is a skill.
Yes.
But, yeah, I do think Minnesota's a good team, so credit to them, and they're playing well. But that was a very disappointing game from the Oilers, to say the least. And I'm going to say again what I said last night, and I think I put it in the nasty chat, and I'll probably talk about it more on my show this afternoon. There's very little interior presence from the Oilers.
I like that yesterday.
And what I mean is there a presence in the slot, in the high danger area, the home plate area, whatever the buzzword is it for now.
You called it the muck yesterday with Corey Perry.
I did. I don't know. Did you wind up playing that after I was off? I didn't stay on right till the end, but I should probably get that clip because, like I said, are you guys make mucking it up enough? And he said no.
He got it.
But he's a player that does. So he scored. Corey Perry's up to 4 goals, which is tied for 4th on the team. I mean, he might actually have a 15-ish goal season, which for him and how much he plays would be pretty good.
Correct.
So I believe 2 of his goals have gone in off opposing players, right? Because didn't he get one against Chicago in one of the first, Chicago or Calgary in one of the first games of the season, where he was actually putting it through the slot and it went in?
Yeah, and it took a carom.
And yesterday he's throwing it in. So there's 2 ways to look at that. Well, those are lucky goals by Corey Perry. I get that.
Sure.
But you have to put the puck in that area sometimes to get a bounce.
Yeah.
So at least he does that.
He mucked that one.
At least he kind of is getting into the muck area, and he kind of said that they aren't working hard enough, and Ekholm and Bouchard talked about consistency, and Knobloch said it in answers to a couple different questions, including mine, because I specifically said, is there the commitment to get pucks and people to the net? And he was kind of like, well, not really. We're on the perimeter a lot, and we have some high-end skilled guys, and maybe some other players think that they can play like that, which is absurd. And again, this isn't a team of 21-year-olds, or this isn't a team of Leon and Connor and everybody else is 20 and in awe of them and thinks, I got to try to be like Leon and Connor.
No.
This is a team where players should know their roles.
There's multiple all-stars, 30, 40 goal scorers from the past, 50-point guys.
Yes, who should know how they've done that in the past. So that's a little confusing to me. So that leads to two questions. A, are they just not committing to playing that way? Like, are they just not there yet? Or are perhaps some of these players now incapable of getting to the inside? I guess, first of all, talking about the offensive end. I mean, again, Draisaitl might get 60 goals. He's playing that well, and he got a little lucky last night. McDavid has, 9 goals. So still, I mean, he's 40-ish pace.
Yeah.
And I mean, he's, obviously pretty good. Bouchard has 5. I know his season hasn't been great, but goal-scoring-wise, 5 goals in 21 games for a defenseman isn't bad. Mm-hmm. Then I mentioned Kulak with 4, which I think is a bit of an outlier. But still, you got to put the puck in.
Correct.
And Perry's up to 4, and Jeff Skinner is now up to 4. So, again, you got Nuge with 2 goals. Hyman I know he didn't play last night, but 3 goals.
Henrique.
2. And I think from some of those depth guys, Henrique might be different because he's so consistently scored 20. But I think some of the guys you'd say, okay, can they get 10? The Derek Ryan type season.
Right.
He always just seems to get to 10. He hasn't scored. Janmark has 1.
Can I say the driver on the top line has yet to score this year?
What are you talking about?
Who do you think I'm talking?
Oh, Podkolzin? Okay. I thought you were being serious
No,
at first.
I'm not being serious. I'm being completely sarcastic. I just want to highlight how ridiculous it is that he is on that line.
I agree that it is. I would say that I still think he can be an effective player.
Yeah, I understand that.
But I am not sure why he continues to go. I know he's spelled off for shifts. Skinner and Perry got to play up there at times. But he's really getting a chance. He's really getting a chance.
He's not earning that chance.
Well, because here's the thing, and this is what I've been, when I talk about Bouchard, and I know this will probably frustrate some fans, but most players don't change that much over the course of their careers. They are who they are. Mm-hmm. Now, I'm not saying that that's always pleasant to watch, to accept weaknesses in a player on your team. And I'm not saying that players don't improve, because I do think players do improve.
Of course.
They can refine and learn and get experience. But a player who has rarely scored, and I think we have to put Podkolzin in that category despite the 14 goals as a rookie, players who rarely score usually don't all of a sudden become scorers. You don't see rarely, you don't see a forward go, 5, 7, 10, 8, 9, 33. It just, that really doesn't happen.
No, that's true.
So that's my thing with Podkolzin. I think he has below average puck skills. I do think he works. I do think his board play is pretty good, probably better than a lot of his teammates. I do think he can disrupt on the forecheck.
Agreed.
And I do appreciate he does have 2 or 3 nice assists this season.
I also agree with that.
But I don't see him as a top 6 player.
He's not.
Again, you hope he works to improve, but just where it is right now, maybe that's more of an indictment of the rest of the roster, that he continues to be up there. But 0 goals is 0 goals. In
21 games.
Rob Brown used to say it about Yamamoto all the time. Remember that year he was on Draisaitl's line and like in December he hadn't scored and like he works hard, but Rob would say like
you need results.
You're on the top 6. You're with Draisaitl. Something should go in off your knee at some point. So that's element. I mean, we're talking about one individual player, but we can go down the roster. But yes, with Podkolzin, and this is one of the few things where this is maybe the first time I feel there's some form of stubbornness from Knoblauch. But just that he not keeps rolling Podkolzin out there, but it's been a couple games now with the two big guys and other games he's been with Leon. Now, maybe those guys like him. Maybe they're saying like, hey, we trust him. He can get us the puck. Maybe there's conversations behind the scenes that we don't know about. But yes, when you have, and he's not the only underwhelming offensive guy, but when you have 0 goals in 21 games, really as a forward, even if you're the 12th forward, like 0 in 21, that's tough to swallow, and that he's getting that much ice time.
I absolutely 100% agree. And that is recognizing and respecting his ability to retrieve pucks, because that's all that we get in feedback from people who like Podkolzin and the idea and implementation of him in the top 6. Leon likes him, and he retrieved pucks.
Yeah,
that's great. But sometimes you got to do something.
Yeah,
to help win the game.
It's like having a good fullback and deciding you're going to run 40-yard fly patterns with him.
Yeah,
it doesn't work.
No. 780-218-9999. Text us your thoughts after that Oilers loss last night, 5-3. Oiler goals last night, I'm sorry, were not great goal. The first one was a gift from the hockey gods.
That's one of the weirdest goals I've seen in person in the NHL.
I said it earlier. I'll say it again. I said it on the postgame show. When Leon Draisaitl, who scored that goal, goes, what happened to Connor McDavid? And McDavid had a look of bewilderment in his eyes when they went in for the scrum to celebrate it. That's all you need to know, because it was bizarre.
And I didn't realize till the replay that the puck hopped off the ice. I thought he whiffed on it.
Well, he did, and then but it took that bounce, and he tried to save it.
Yeah.
I think it hit. You know how the goalies come out after the ice is flooded, and they do that side shuffle to muck up the crease? Muck. I think it's for traction, and I'd have to ask Joaquin, who's just over there, why they do that. But anyway, I think it hit a fresh, you get that fresh ice. There's still a bit of water sitting, and I think that in the flukiest of ways, Marc-Andre Fleury was doing his shuffles to get his crease ready for the game, and maybe he scraped up a little bit of wet ice, and it created a little chunk, and the puck on end somehow with enough steam on it perfectly hit that little chunk and bounced through over his stick and through his legs.
Yeah,
it was beyond fluky.
Yeah, because I think if it stays on the ice, he would have just swept it away.
You saw how careful
he was timing it to try to wipe it away.
And then the Perry goal you talked about, he went and mucked it up and he banked it in. Yeah. That's great. Okay, I'll give him that one.
And I'm fine with those goals. I don't think there is a certain amount of luck-ish bounces to them, but also occupying the front of the net in hockey is a skill. Right? I mean, I remember, or just, sometimes you see a player, oh man, he scores on a lot of rebounds. He's so lucky. Well, the rebound just fell down to him and he put it in an open net. No, but he was there. You gotta get there to score those goals, right? You don't get a rebound land right on your stick 2 feet from the net if you don't plow through the ice to get there to begin with, or plow through the defense to get there to begin with.
Right.
So they're
not doing that enough.
No. Okay, so that's... What else do you want to talk about? The other end of the ice?
Yeah, the other end of the ice is a disaster. So do you want to go defense or goaltending first? Because I most times I go, hey, it's not Stu Skinner's fault tonight. It's not Calvin Picker's fault tonight. Last night, no point. No point in even saying that. Everyone had a bad game. They got outplayed.
Yeah, this is the thing. It's everybody's fault.
Yeah.
And I really want to emphasize that. If people, I know we have some people who watch all day. Sometimes people are in and out because they got busy lives. If you tune into this show or the Reid Wilkins show or whoever, and here 10 minutes on the defense, it doesn't mean we're ignoring those other aspects of the game. That just might be the story of the day, or we're going through everything. Here's my. Do you want me to do goaltending then?
Yeah, go. Okay, go for it.
All right. But neither goaltender's having a good season.
Correct.
Neither goaltender is playing to the standards that they showed for the majority of last season. Okay?
Yep.
So you can't, and I don't judge Skinner against Hellebuck or Ottinger or whoever.
He's not
I judge him against Stuart Skinner.
Yeah.
And he's capable of playing better. And I also try not to go down the rabbit hole of, well, this save should have been stopped, this save should have been shot. I just kind of look at everything as a whole, and too many are going in. I mean, every goalie gets beat. I mean, you could pick any individual goal. You could pick a random goal from around the league, and it might be one you could look at and say, oh, glove side, he's not very good. Oh, beat and block. Like, goalies get beat.
Yes.
But the thing is with Skinner and with Pickard to an extent as well, too many are going in. And I look, everybody, I don't necessarily need to debate if it's blocker side low or glove high or between the legs. Stop the puck. I mean, Fleury dove across and didn't he have one hit him in his head yesterday?
I think so, yeah.
Either it goes in or it doesn't. So, battle and make the save and let in less than the other guy at the end. I realize, sometimes this wasn't great. But it's not. It's just not to the standard that it needs to be. And I will talk about one goal specifically, though. I think it was the second Minnesota goal that shot from the high slot, and Skinner is screened, and it goes in. So there's two schools of thought for that. I get anybody who could say, well, Skinner was screened, okay? But if you look at Oilers shots and goals around the league, goalies make saves when they're screened all the time because of positioning and making themselves big.
That's fair.
So, again, I said I wouldn't talk about an individual goal, but just big picture, goalies make saves when they're screened. That's all about positioning and lateral movement and reading the play and those types of things. So, I mean, the save percentages are bad.
Yes.
876 and 893. Oddly enough, the team goals against is one of their better stats. I hate to say.
But that's indicative
17th.
of the rest of the group.
Like, they're 17th in goals against, so they're middle of the pack at 3.19. So, yeah, I mean, it's yet another area of the game that is substandard compared to where you would expect those athletes to be based on their histories.
Yes. Defense. Okay, wait. Before we get to defense, we got a text that came in. 780-218-9999. Text us your thoughts, some follow-up from last night, where the team's at through 21 games. 10-9-2 is the record. And then get in on the nasty chat. Big Dave texted in and said, do you guys think Stu's play is just a reflection of the lack of confidence he has in front of him?
Oh, that's a good question. I never thought about it that way. I don't think I can. I mean, I don't think I can get in someone's head enough to answer that yes or no. He
would not admit to that.
But I would say this. Sometimes goalies get fired up if their team is playing crappy in front of them.
Mike Smith?
Like, sometimes the guys get that blank you attitude, and it's like, okay, boys, until you wake up, I'll win the damn game for you, or I'll keep you in the game, okay?
Yep.
Like, if you're only scoring 2, fine, I'm going to try to at least get you to overtime, because they know, okay, guys, if I have a night where I suck and I'm letting in 4 or 5, I want you to nut up and get me 6,
right?
And get me the win when I'm playing crappy. No, but having said that, that is a fair question if a goalie is back there. And again, I don't know if this is the case of Skid or not. I also could understand where that question is coming from, because a goalie could be thinking, I got the shooter. Oh, I wonder whose back door that player X is forgetting to cover, or I wonder if Bush is going to throw it up the middle, or I wonder, like in Toronto, or I wonder if also in Toronto, I wonder if Kulak and McDavid, two of the more reliable players, are going to botch a 3-foot pass and a guy's going to get 2 point blank shots.
How about them blowing by the puck that was sitting static in their own zone, and 3 guys blew by it.
Thank God
night.
Minnesota was changing, because that would have been a free breakaway for somebody.
That was just
right
mystifying.
Yeah.
To Big Dave, like I was watching that game and the goals that were going in. And granted, Minnesota is a good team, like we said, and we're recognizing that. And a couple of those goals were rebounds that were put in uncontested.
Yes.
And there would be an Oiler defender right there beside the Wild player who was banging it in. That reminded me, I remember going to, in my time between Oilers TV and TSN, there was like a 2-week period, and my friend brought me to a game. It was the first time I sat in seats in years. And I remember it was the 17-18 season. The Oilers' defense was atrocious that year. Cam Talbot had a bad year. I remember coming off his best year ever, by the way.
Yeah.
I remember Talbs. I was watching him, and he would have to make 2 or 3 stops, and then finally whatever garbage was finally put in, because the defense couldn't do a damn thing, or wouldn't do a damn thing, or was missing their assignments. Last night, some of those goals, I'm like, that looks like that one game I went to as a fan, quote unquote,
Yep.
where Skinner makes a big save, he's sprawled out, and there's a Wild player that can just bang it in, and nobody's touching him. Late to the party.
Well, the disallowed goal, I think it was the disallowed goal. Skinner made a great save.
Yep.
And then the player gets another shot at it.
Yep.
And then there's a 3-on-1. He makes a save.
Bang home
And,
the rebound.
and I know people can say, well, rebound control, but
that's
it's
a shot.
It's a 3-on-1. What else was there? There was another goal of one of the ones in the second period. Bush was backing away from the guy, and then he waved his stick at him.
Well, the shot that you talked about, the one from the slot where there's the screen and we're like acknowledging the screen, and sometimes goalies save that positioning. Bouchard literally jumped at the point of release out of the way.
Yeah, you're better off trying to block it at that point.
Or
almost.
engage with the Wild player.
Or go to the other side.
And he literally, as the shot was being released, gets out of the way, and Skinner's trying to track it. He didn't, obviously, and it beats him.
But this goes back to what I'm saying about the lack of interior presence. They're not getting to the scoring zone, the mucky zone in the offensive end for the most part, and they're not cleaning up that area in the defensive end. So, knock somebody over. So Bouchard didn't have a great game.
He's strung a few of those together.
And I guess he gets picked on a lot because of how much he plays.
Yeah, and he also gets picked on because of how poorly he's been playing.
So this is my thing with Bouchard. And I said this on Monday after the Toronto game. He is who he is. He's never going to be a defensive wizard. He's never going to turn into Scott Stevens or Darian Hatcher or Kevin Lowe and understand everything that's happening on the ice.
He has been way better in years past, later in the season. Sorry to disrupt.
But at least you saw in the playoffs he would put a shoulder in a guy or be in a position to win a stick battle and knock the puck out there as opposed to vacating the area.
Correct.
So that's my expectation. He's probably not going to turn into a crusher, but at least occupy that area and be in the way and be in a position to slap the puck away or do something.
You know who did that? Brian Rafalski. Seriously.
Did not expect a Rafalski reference.
He was a very good defenseman for a long time, and he was known for his offensive abilities, but on defense, he wasn't physical. He wasn't the biggest and strongest, but he slapped the puck out of the way. He disrupted.
Yeah.
Brian Rafalski.
Yes.
It's an obscure reference, but seriously.
He was pretty good. And Troy Stecher was trying to slap the puck out of the way last night and missed it twice and then gave it to the other team. It's just what is going on.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's all over the ice. I can't really say. I mean, I guess there are some individuals that, if you look at points, are having a good season. And I guess there may be, I think Kulak's playing well overall, given what we expect from him. But yeah, overall, it's underwhelming pretty much everywhere. And even if ignoring the individual stuff, there's just glitches in how they pass and how they attack. They don't seem to be on the same page. They don't seem to be reading well off each other.
Nope.
They don't seem to be playing to their individual identities, which then helps the line as a whole. and that's why they're 10-9-2 now. If people were just like not following the Oilers all season and heard us talking, they probably would have thought they were 3-18. I mean, they are still 10-9-2, getting by on some of the talent and some of their better games. 20th, but here's the thing: 20th in goals for, 17th in goals against, 22nd on the power play, and despite having a good run on the PK, they're still 30th.
Yeah, they've improved. They vaulted themselves into 30th.
So in terms of points percentage. And I usually look at points percentage because the games played is always uneven.
Yes,
they are 17th overall. They are the very definition of mediocre.
Correct.
20th, 17th, 22nd, 30th in some of the key categories, and then 17th in points percentage. So again, they're not terrible, but they're just mediocre and inconsistent.
And that's with many elements of their game not firing at the expected efficiency rate.
Yeah, very much so.
So if they get a couple things going, they move themselves up towards top 10. If they get everything going, they're back in the top 5. And all of a sudden we're talking about a team that could they do it again? That's how it works.
Yeah.
And there's so much hockey.
Yeah, I mean there's still a very small gap in this league between winning and losing, and maybe winning, 7 out of 10 instead of whatever. Well, I mean, I know lately they've been a little better overall, but still.
Like a week ago, Boston was towards the bottom of the Eastern Conference standings, and I see after their win yesterday, they're like 3rd in their division in the Atlantic. And I was like, oh, that's how fickle and tight it is right now in the league.
Yeah, well, the division's tight, right? I mean, there's 5 points between 1st and 6th in the Pacific Division.
Yeah.
I guess Vancouver kind of benefits the most from the lower number. Actually, I don't know if this is right, what I have here. But anyway, it's close.
It's close.
Division.
It's tight.
Yeah.
This is also the All Stream presented by Popeyes. We're inside the Popeyes Louisiana Kitchen Studios. They have their boneless wings program, which is a continuation of their bone-in wings platform. Some great flavors, obviously signature hot, honey garlic, honey barbecue, garlic parm, as well as classic. On top of that, they've brought back the big box featuring 2-piece signature chicken, 2 regular sides, and a biscuit with an option for a drink upcharge. I always recommend the cherry Coke for getting the drink upcharge. And my favorite go-to side at Popeyes is mac and cheese. Thank you. Thank you for nodding in acknowledgement of my appreciation for mac and cheese. Tom Gazzola, Reid, Wilkins with you. Keep those texts coming in, 780-218-9999. And you can get at us in the nasty chat. I saw a few more texts that I wanted to get to. There's a bunch, actually.
Yeah, I'm curious how people are feeling. Well, I know they're not feeling
today.
great.
Yesterday they were pissed.
Yeah. Well, it's Friday.
They want to have a good time. It's cold out there. Tube Socks.
Yeah.
Shout out, Steven. Says, Reid, I like where that beard is heading. Keep up the good work. There is an ellipses in that text.
Okay,
and
thank you.
I tried to use that. I like where the beard is heading.
Appreciate that. Very white beard.
Thank you, Stephen. That is also a nod to when you do oil.
What's that?
Understood.
Oh, oil understood for GCL Diesel.
Yeah,
yes.
Just connecting the dots.
Big pause.
Let's go to this text says, it's from Scott. Scott says, the defense is bad. It's bad on paper with 3-4 quote-unquote castaways from other teams, and the Oilers' good quote-unquote defense aren't good enough defensively. On top of that, I can only think of 1 or 2 games this year when the Oilers' goaltender has been better than the other team's goaltender. I don't know how they fix this with the cap crunch. Yeah,
that's fair.
Scott, that's a great point. And there was another text that came in from AB Poker Inc. Good to hear from what AB Poker Inc. says. What is the minimum amount of moves to fix this team? I honestly think we're going to see 2 or 3, maybe 4 new players come by the time the trade deadline happens.
Yeah.
And
I'm not sure. I mean, people who, and you know me, Tom, and the people who followed me or listened to my previous show, I'm not a big trade proposal guy at this time of year or trade rumor guy.
I was about to get into that, yeah.
You know, and let's face it, everybody, you probably do this or your buddies do it. Most trade proposals that you will suggest will grossly favor your favorite team.
No way.
So, but yes, fair comment about the defense. Like Stetcher, I will say this about Stetcher. He plays with some passion, which I think this team is missing.
Yeah.
But, yeah, he's sometimes going to goof up like he did on that play last night where he couldn't clear the puck. But at least the one thing with him is he plays with some fire that I'd like to see for some other players at times. I mean, we know what Josh Brown is. I'll say this about Josh Brown. I actually didn't mind his work on the penalty kill. He reminded me a bit of Desharnais, just taking up space and forcing players to the outside. But we know that he's basically, the minor league defenseman.
Yes.
And then Emberson, I think, is still coming along. Who am I missing? Well, Dermott didn't even play last night.
No, he was sick.
So
he was expected to play, but he was sick.
So, yeah, moves to fix it. I think eventually there will be moves. I don't know. I mean, they picked up Kapanen. To me, he was. I guess Knobloch mentioned he drew a couple penalties,
Great.
but
that's good.
Yeah, I mean, I was wondering with him, might I at least notice some skating or some speed? Not really.
I noticed him. I was like, oh, who's that? Oh, there he is, Kapanen. Because I didn't recognize how you recognize the skating style or how they look on the ice. I was like, that guy looks new. Oh, that's Kapanen.
Yeah.
That was it.
Yeah, I mean, really, it's become, unfortunately, it's become when Draisaitl and McDavid are on the ice, I feel, I won't say you because maybe people don't feel this way, I feel, okay, something might happen. They might score. Mm-hmm. And Bouchard in the offensive end. Once the puck's in the other end, I don't know. But it's kind of become, as it was sort of for some of the Tippett era, that it's...
they differ.
It was a three-man team then because Nuge was pretty good, but he's so quiet this year.
Yes.
So, yeah, I mean, now, first of all, I guess I got to be fair here. Hyman didn't play last night, and even though he's having a tough season, he's still around the net, right? And Arvidsson didn't play. He hasn't been nearly as good as I thought. I mean, he's got 2 goals and 3 assists, and he had 3 assists in one game.
Yeah.
And he has a couple of goals. So he's only had a point in 3 of the 16 games he's played, but maybe something comes along there. And I do think they missed Nurse on the back end. I mean, they were without 3 of their top 9 overall players, 8 overall players last night.
Yes.
So I guess I should acknowledge that. But still, the whole body of work from this season hasn't been good enough. I mean, you lose if they lose to the Rangers tomorrow. And this is the crazy thing about this team. They could go out and win 6-1. Who knows? We don't know.
Yeah.
But if they lose tomorrow, it's 10-10. They're 10-10-2. And it's that American Thanksgiving thing coming up, and you usually have to get at least 92 points to make the playoffs. So they're a quarter of the way in, and they haven't really banked anything significant that gives them a little bit of leeway if they do have another tough time.
It can be gloomy, and after nights like last night, it seems gloomy.
Yeah.
But when you take a step back and look at the big picture, there are reasons for optimism.
Well, there is a lot of hockey left. And to that person who said, how many roster moves to fix the team, the somewhat positive side of that is we're talking about not fixing the team. We're talking about making them look more like a Stanley Cup contender.
The pieces that they have, listen, as underperforming as these players have been, the pieces that they have on this team should be good enough to have them in the mix.
Yes.
They aren't doing that right now.
No.
Okay, let's get to a couple of texts.
Sure.
Unless you want to add another.
No, that's cool.
Okay. Waddy and Cloverdale, a couple things from Waddy says, as long as 97 and 29 are producing with Podkolzin on their line, he's in a good spot. Those guys can produce with Reid Wilkins on their line. Seriously. Now, Reid would be skating slowly behind them, but those two would be producing.
Yeah.
The other lines need to find something, says Waddy, and him being lower in the lineup doesn't increase the chances of that. Waddy and Cloverdale also adds the Ziz team get desperate enough that Sam O'Reilly comes into play. Some huge defensive needs without any trade chips or many trade chips. I don't think Sam O'Reilly
to trade Sam O'Reilly. I thought he meant...
No, I don't think so. He's kind of part of the plan moving forward. No, I don't.
It would be nice if they hung on to a first-round pick at some point.
Yes, exactly. The Timber Woodsman says, any truth to Gibson rumor? I don't think so, personally.
Yeah, I don't know.
Mean, I think, I said it earlier, I think Gibson's kind of in that Ryan Miller part of his career.
It was
where
only
he played,
31 or 32.
Yeah, I know, but Ryan Miller was used so much in the early part of his career by Buffalo that by the time he got to his early 30s, he was basically spent.
Oh, yeah.
Burnt out. And then ended up being basically a backup / reluctant number one.
Right.
At times. Remember, he got bounced around St. Louis, Vancouver, Anaheim eventually.
Yeah,
so Timber Woodsman, I'd say no. I think they are sticking with these two.
Probably, yeah, at least for the time being.
Unless it gets so bad.
It's Saros.
Someone actually texted that in, and I was like, come on, man, stop it. They just signed him long-term. Stamp Hater says, didn't catch much of the game, but which right shot D-man had to move to the left side to make up for Dermott not playing? Brown and Stetcher were a pair technically last night, I believe. Because Emerson was with Kulak.
Yes.
It didn't last long, Stamp Hater.
Well, and then Bush got somewhat demoted.
Or benched. Yeah.
Though you might argue playing with Kulak is good this year. Because didn't Bouchard get some shifts with Kulak late in the game?
Yeah, he might have.
And I think he might have missed a couple of shifts.
He did miss a couple of shifts. We do have to get to Keep It or Clip It. I want to read this one from Cozy. Says, hey, Tommy, agree with your assessment of Podkolzin, but then who right now has no one else producing either? Options are limited for production in the top six. Also, the Oilers goalies get beat from distance while the Oilers can't score from distance. No easy fix for this team at this point in the season. Love the show, Cozy.
Yeah, well, that's. I think we sort of touched on that.
Yeah.
It's who's obviously better than Podkolzin. Fair comment.
Nobody is producing enough to deserve, quote unquote, the promotion to left wing with McDavid and Draisaitl, but Podkolzin ain't it. That's all I'm saying. And he's still up there. And it's been 12 games too long. Shut up, Hernan.
Hey, Hernan.
He says you hate him. I do not. I think he's a very good fourth liner, sometimes third liner. And yes, I understand the situation that they're in offensively. They're trying to get something out of it.
Leon Draisaitl has over a quarter of the Oilers' goals this season.
Yes.
So that shows you what's going on there.
Okay, let's get to Keep It or Clip It, brought to you by Tommy Guns at Tommy Guns Original Barbershop. We believe a great haircut is more than just a quick in and out. It's about the whole experience. That's why we follow the code, a commitment to deliver the best barbershop experience every time you visit. From check-in to the finishing touch, every step is crafted with care. No appointments needed. Just walk in, relax. We'll take it from there. Tommy Guns, Original Barbershop. It is Keep It or Clip It. Tom Gazzola, Reid Wilkins. Text us 780-218-9999. Nasty chat. Do your thing. Okay, I got the boys to chip in on Keep It or Clip It today.
So I say if I'm keeping it or clipping it.
That is correct. And explain why. Show your work.
Okay, I like doing that.
Keep It or Clip It, Reid Wilkins. This is from Joaquin Gage.
Oh.
Skinner should start 5 straight to, quote unquote, figure it out.
Clip it.
Why?
I think you have to get wins, and I think Pickard has shown usually he can play every third game or in a back-to-back, and I think you have to give him a chance to figure out his game to some extent as well. So I would now maybe it's Skinner tomorrow, but then they got a back-to-back coming back Friday and Saturday, so that'll be both goalies.
Yeah.
So no, I wouldn't say that they're in a position to just ride Skinner for a long time right now.
I will also clip it. Skinner should be able to, quote unquote, figure it out starting 3 in a row or 4 in a row, like most number ones do in his third full NHL season. So we're both clipping that one. All right, number 2 on Keep It or Clip It. Play along if you'd like. Text us. We'll read some. This one, I think it was myself, and I think Lieutenant Eric might have gotten in on this one. Keep It or Clip It, Reid. Evan Bouchard's defensive game will come around this season. Keep It or Clip It.
Well, I'll keep it because I think it's come around in other seasons. But again, I still think for the duration of his career, everybody, for as long as he plays in the NHL, he's going to be prone to mind-boggling gaffes. You just hope they don't happen too often and happen in critical points of the game. But I will keep it that he'll play better defensively at some point this season.
Okay, I will also keep it. I want to disagree and create a further discussion, but I will also keep this one. I'll just say this. I think his defensive game improves and awakens around the 40, 45 game mark.
Well, hopefully before then. My goodness.
It should come around quicker, but he has this knack for playing much better all around. Call it the 200-foot game, if you will, later on in the season. He's a slow starter. We know it. He's done it 3 years in a row. Finishes strong, though. So we're both keeping it. Keep it or clip it, brought to you by Tommy Gunn's Original Barber Shop. Tom and Reid with you. We went through 2. Let's go to number 3. We've got 4 here. Keep it or clip it, Reid. Once Zach Hyman and Victor Arvidsson come back, Podkolzin stays in the top 6. I think you suggested this one.
No, I didn't.
No?
I don't think I suggested any.
Maybe Hernan brought this one.
I'm going to keep it. I think they're determined to see Podkolzin in the top 6 and Jeff Skinner not in the top 6. So I think Hyman will come back and be somewhere. I mean, okay, Kapanen's not going to be in the top 6. So I think when those two guys come back, hey, you got the Trappers logo. That's
Very
awesome.
nice, Joaquin.
We had that on our show yesterday for logos that should not have changed.
You been drinking?
I think of the alignment from last night, Kapanen and Jeff Skinner would get bumped out of the top 6 when Arvidsson and Hyman are healthy. I think they're convinced to keep Podkolzin up there. I'm sorry.
I'm clipping it. I think he should not be up there.
No, but I'm not saying what I would do.
I know,
I'm
but you think
saying
what's
what
gonna
I'm
happen.
reading off what the coaches will do.
And I get that. I'm going to clip it. I think at some point, his lack of production, regardless of his puck retrieval efficiency, will get him sent back down to the bottom 6, most likely on the 4th line, where he should play and play effectively because he is capable. Good. He has good traits that I appreciate and respect. They're best suited for the 4th line, and I eventually think that Skinner or somebody, Brown, whatever, starts to play well enough that they can put them into a skilled position in the top 6 and they can complement the thoroughbreds, let's call them, much better than Podkolzin can. All right. Keep it or clip it. Last one. This one I think for sure came from Joaquin. Keep it or clip it. Just Gene's hair.
Clip it.
Clip it. Get a haircut, Gene.
How come he's growing it out again?
Because they usually force him to get a haircut, especially at the end of the summer. He was telling us this earlier around training camp, and he goes, yeah, I'm going to have to get a haircut. They usually call me and say, Gene, it's that time. And he's like, I get one haircut a season. It's right at the start of the year, and then I let it go for the rest of the year.
But did he do it for a wig or something one year for a cancer thing? I thought
I know
I
of.
thought he had a
maybe.
charitable...
Can they use, like, his hair is super curly.
Yeah, I thought...
Wouldn't that be difficult to utilize?
Probably.
For a
I'm
wig?
not a wig maker.
For a wig?
Not yet.
Yeah.
Any wig makers in the audience?
That's your second passion after sports broadcasting.
It really is.
Yeah.
Wig making. I thought there was one year he was doing it for a good cause.
I know
or
he's
maybe
doing
raise
Movember.
money or
He's
something.
doing Movember, which is great.
Yeah, I would clip Gene's hair, and I love Gene, and he's a great broadcaster. He's handsome. He's great at
My
Edmontonian.
uncle. He's a good friend.
But yeah, I think he's got to clean it up a bit.
I want to have fun with that one. Last one, keep it or clip it. Gene's hair. We both say clip it. Paisan, clean it up. He's a good-looking man. He's a great man, actually. But yeah, that great suit he had yesterday, and him, Struddy, and Bob. It was a fun panel. I love Struddy.
Well, what happened? I didn't see the intermissions.
Oh, there was laughter because Struddy brings it.
Yeah, Struddy's funny.
Yeah, and even Bob, I think, had a guffaw, which is great to see.
Struddy was up there when we did Edmonton's most sexiest male athlete of all time last week. Saray was sort of the unofficial winner.
Because women love and appreciate and are attracted to kind, genuine men with a great sense of humor and a big heart. And that is Jason
That's Struddy.
Strudwick.
Yeah.
And he also happens to be a behemoth of a man. And he's just a good dude. So
Yeah, he is a good dude.
I get it. And I love it. Struddy is an awesome dude. He's just always a good vibe when that guy's around. Same with Gene. Okay, let's see what the nasty said. I also have one other text that I want to get to and we need to talk Oil Kings and Golden Bears. We have 7
we should
minutes.
quickly too before.
Okay, really quickly. It was from Hampton Steve earlier. Hampton Steve says, since I wanted to ignore the Oilers game from last night, let's talk about a big positive. Looks like the PWHL game coming to Edmonton, almost ready, sold out. Edmonton hockey community showing out once again. And I just took a look at the tickets and just the 3 corners, you could say.
Is it full bowl?
Looks like it's full bowl. 3 upper corners have some seats available. $35 you can get in, it looks like.
Oh, that's a good price.
Almost sold out. Lower bowl sold out. End zone sold out. Middle parts of the top bowl sold out on both sides. Very good. I think that's going to be awesome. Toronto Scepters versus Ottawa Charge on February 16th during the Four Nations face-off. Great time. A
mutual friend of ours texted me yesterday that she'd purchased tickets.
Who was this?
Our mutual friend.
We have many mutual friends.
The one that lives in my neighborhood.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. She's going to go to the game.
That's excellent.
Yeah, that's cool.
I think it's going to be great. Okay. Oil Kings, Golden Bears, go.
All right. Golden Bears play tonight and tomorrow at Clare Drake against the Saskatchewan Huskies. Good rivalry. If people are thinking, wait a minute, Reid, weren't you talking about the Huskies being here 5 or 6 weeks ago? I was. Not a fan of Canada West doing this. They divided the 9-team hockey league into 2 divisions. So they play the Huskies 6 times. So the 4 times here and 2 in Saskatoon. Mm-hmm. Nonetheless, this is always a good series. The Bears are number 1 in the league in Canada West. The Huskies are, I think, 9-3 or 8-4 or something like that.
Check
two of the losses have been to the Bears. I should have brought my standings in. And the Bears, for the first time ever, are having a teddy bear toss. The Golden Bears are.
Excellent.
So bring a teddy bear in a plastic bag, throw it onto the ice at Clare Drake. That if anybody, I'm still always, maybe this is a little pompous of me. I'm still surprised, though, when there's an Edmontonian who says they're a big hockey fan and are well into their adulthood who are like, yeah, I've never been to a Bears game. What?
They are awesome.
Like, it's really fun to go.
So good.
Honestly. And they got a good team this year. I mean, last year for them was a bit of a down year, and I thought they might not be. Yeah, I thought they might be in the same category this year, but they're doing really well.
11-1,
and
22
are the Huskies
points.
9-3.
Huskies are 9-3, 18 points. Huskies tied for second. Golden Bears first overall, and they lead the East Division. Yeah, it's kind of weird.
So that's tonight and tomorrow, and then the Oil Kings play tonight at 7 and Sunday at 4, and the Oil Kings teddy bear toss, which is massive. They were within, I think, 1,400 tickets as of yesterday. So it's probably under 1,000 by now of being sold out. They'll have over 15,000 bears thrown onto the ice. It's quite a spectacle.
And it's huge for, is it Santa's Anonymous?
It's for Santa's. Those bears go to Santa's Anonymous. I'm not sure what the Golden Bears are doing. Probably must be with Santa's, but
they're picking a charitable cause that obviously is worthy.
Just other local events, local hockey to think about and take in if you want to get to a game. And those games are fun.
I think they're about $20 each. And then like students get discounts at Golden Bears.
Yes.
You can get kids tickets for the Oil Kings.
Yeah, and if the Golden Bears win, usually some students build a pyramid of empty beer glasses in one of the corners, and then if the Golden Bears win, they all skate into it and knock it over by hitting the glass at the end of that. But the games with the Huskies tend to be quite spirited.
Yes. That's good hockey, man. That is such good. Those players are tremendous.
Joel Sexsmith's on the Bears.
Yes,
John's son, Mason Ward, is on the Bears. Lance Ward's son.
Yep.
Lance is from Lloyd, so I used to talk to him when he was in the NHL. Right. And Sean Chagall, who is a great player, he was on our show. But now, I do believe one of the Bears snipers, Brett Hyland, I think he's hurt for this weekend, so that'll be tough. But that guy, he can shoot the puck.
Lots of great hockey.
Yeah.
Lots of great hockey.
So I just wanted to mention those teams.
Very worthy. Radomski was phenomenal yesterday with you and Jay. Really enjoyed that interview.
He's great.
Did Jay steal that jersey?
I don't think he was able to keep it, but it was cool that he put it on.
That would be a hell of a fight because those are 2 big, tough dudes, Radomski and Jay. But you know what? They're both great guys who are friends.
Yes, that's true.
That's the beauty of it. That's going to do it for the Oil Stream presented by Boston Pizza. Big thank you to Popeye's Louisiana Kitchen and Tommy Gunn's Original Barbershop. Big thank you to Reid Wilkins for stepping in for the big man, Dustin Nielson. Dusty, get well soon. We want you to get well. That's going to do it for the Oil Stream. For Reid, I'm Tom saying thank you as always. Coming up next, EST Afternoons with Hernan Salas and Joaquin Gage. Then Reid will be back with Jay Milne with the Reid Wilkins Show. That's going to do it. See you later, guys.
See ya.